following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language and flashing imagery.
And welcome from the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
Touch gloves.
How do you like it?
Off the shoulder. So aggressive, so focused.
Look at these two guys. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
We're live from Manchester's iconic AO Arena as the countdown to Mauricio Lara and Leigh Wood 2 starts with Before the Bell. We've got 3 fights coming up for you ahead of the main card at 7 p.m. Campbell Hatton returns to his hometown to take on Michał Bulik. And we've got the debut of William Crolla as he faces Joe Hardy. But first, we've got 2 fighters in the ring already to go. Aaron Bowen and Aliaj Venko. David Diamante just bringing them out to the ring as we speak. Chris Lloyd here with Darren Barker, and very, very pleased to say Cyrus Pattinson joins us after a heroic performance against the former British welterweight champion Chris Jenkins. And well, it's been great to see the bromance between you two. I know you sent your belt to him because you made a promise to his kids, and I have to say it's lovely to have you with us and seeing you well rested.
Nah, it's always a pleasure to be at ringside with you both, so I'm just happy to be back amongst it.
And Darren Barker, of course, with us as always. Do you remember when we first started this show about 5 years ago nearly? He was one of the first guests we had on Before the Bell, and here we all are, and we've aged brilliantly.
Look at us, other than me.
So we've got plenty to go for you in the ring. Aaron Bowen has just made his way through the ropes, his second professional contest after stopping his debutant inside the first round. And to bring the fighters to us, let's hear the introductions. David Diamante is standing by.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the AO Arena here in Manchester, England, for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Stagefront, and JD Sports, and all of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Mr. Robin Smith. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, from Barry, scoring A-star referee John Latham. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red, white, and black trunks. He scaled 11 stone, 7 pounds, 1 ounce. His professional record, 5 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Slovenska Konica, Slovenia. Please welcome Aliaj Venko. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears silver trunks with blue trim. He scaled 11 stone, 9 pounds, 9 ounces. His young professional record thus far perfect, 1 fight, 1 victory, and that victory came by way of knockout. Here is the 2-time amateur national champion, fighting out of Coventry. Welcome, Aaron Bowen.
Right, lads, you expect from you both, you obey my instructions at all times. When I tell you to break, you both break clean. Defend yourselves at all times, and the best luck to you both. Touch gloves.
So a 6-rounder schedule between 2 pros with very good amateur international credentials. Aaron Bowen on your screen from Coventry in the West Midlands. Aliaj Venko from Slovenska Bystrica in Slovenia. Been the distance in the amateurs with some very good international opponents. Arlen Lopez, John Doherty, Anthony Fowler, the year he won bronze at the Worlds. And I think, Darren, fair to say, after Bowen's debut, how quickly it ended. I think Eddie Hearn and Tom Dallas, the matchmaker, knew that they needed to step up the level of opposition. Otherwise, he's in danger of not getting the rounds and experience in that he needs at this stage of his career.
Oh, I tell you what, it was a fantastic debut. Naturally aggressive, he's a very good fighter, well schooled. Been made to work here, though, by Venko, who, watching some of his previous fights, he's aggressive naturally, likes to get on the front foot, likes to land big shots, and this is a different kind of pattern to his debut for Bowen, who was on the front foot, looking very spiteful. I love the variation of the work, especially that left to the body that got the job done, but Venko on the front foot here, looking aggressive and looking to force the pace.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a very, very tight guard, and I think Bowen will be looking to exploit that tight guard with that boot of the body, which he stopped his last opponent with in his debut.
Yeah, Matty Gomez, poor fella, was being raked under the elbows, and it was the left hook that Bowen landed just there that took him out in a minute and a half of the first round. Spiteful, tall, rangy, and it was boxing 81 in the amateurs. And well, he shaved another £1.5 off his weight in the last 12 weeks since his debut. He was just over 163 for this. And Darren, this is your old weight division. He's a big man. If he's going to make middleweight and he can perform there over the next couple of years, it could be a real handful.
He's a giant. He really is. For a middleweight, huge. He uses his advantages so well. You can see that. Just overreach him with the right hand, but he uses the jab lovely. Measures the distance all the time. Got to be careful of that lead hand coming back to his chest. Yeah.
Venko's landed some really good short shots, putting the combinations together. That's one of his strengths. But nice response from Aaron Bowen there, back and forth.
Big shot at the top of the head there, wasn't it?
It's the kind of warning signs that he knew would be present from Venko. And, well, what Aaron Bowen needs, we know he loves the scrap. Brilliant semi-final at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham last summer with Taylor Bevan. Came off just about second best in that one.
I think as he does chip away down the sides, or on the sides, it'll open up the centre of the guard later on in the fight. And I think that's when you can find a home for that backhand uppercut up the middle.
Yeah, he's trying to disguise that left hook to the head by sort of feinting to the body. He just needs to bring that left foot across when he throws that shot. That's a nice right to the body from Bowen. Pushing Venko back now, Chris.
Just managed to take this thing off a bit. Venko just took the feet back with him as the 10-second flapper sounds. Did 400-odd tickets for his debut, Bowen. The sales have been impacted for this one because those of you who are football fans will know that Coventry City, who are his boyhood club and a big part of his fan base, have got a crucial game, and well, sadly, Darren, in playoff action, they're 1-0 down to Luton at home at the moment.
They are.
Don't tell him, just keep it quiet.
Actually, I might say it a bit louder, it might get him going.
I think Jordan Reynolds will be happy, won't he?
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. He's actually gone to the game. He's at Wembley, Jordan, so he'll be cheering on the Hatters.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of success in that first round for Aljaž Venko. Likes to get in close, shorten the shots up well, and when he rattles them off in combinations, he's really effective. Landed a couple of nice left hooks upstairs as well. Just a warning and a reminder for Bowen. He's in a different level of opponent, more similar to what he would have faced in the amateurs. Got 6 rounds to break his man up here. Into the second we go.
Yeah, he's definitely got to stay switched on. Like Venko's, he's not coming to make up numbers tonight. You can see he's coming, he's aggressive in his game.
That's the shot. I was just about to say, the uppercut, when you're fighting the shorter man, it really takes the space away really well, Bowen, so he can time that and measure that uppercut and try and walk Venko onto the shot.
Compact and solid as well. His shot's just bouncing off the gloves as he tries to close the gap.
You mentioned earlier on as well, from his extensive amateur background, like I don't think he's been stopped either, so he's been with some big names and he's a tough man.
Great seeing in the corner of Bowen, calmly feeding him out the instructions. Hasn't got to raise his voice because we've got too many in at this stage of the afternoon. It will be filling up here later on, though, with a big one in Manchester, the rematch between Mauricio Lara and Leigh live on DAZN around the world. Big weekend of boxing in the UK as well, as Bowen just looking to sell in the feint, land the right hand, left hook under the elbow again, but Venko still tight, still compact.
Yeah, as Cyrus pointed out, very high guard Venko, so that left to the body, which was so impressive against Gomez, could unravel and hurt Venko, so variation with the shot. Key, Benko again bravely coming forward.
Happy to just take a couple on the guard to get in close, and then when he does, he's got very short levers. He's able to uncoil them nice and easily. See there, just rattles 2 or 3 off, and he'll feel these, Bowen. Reddening on the arms and just the neck as well.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job as well, trying to tie him up when he's inside as well.
Also crucial though to your development as a young pro. Going through the ranks, only his second fight, you can't have things your own way. You're not going to learn nothing at all. So having someone in front of you who's going to work away, going to try and push you back, like Benko is, crucial, like I say, to the development.
And again from the Slovenian, really nice short, sharp combinations up the inside as well.
Just need to be a little careful with that low lead hand against the shorter fighter, whipping that overhand over the top, especially when you're in the same stance.
Benko doing the right thing. I mean, he has to get close. At range, there's only one winner here. And if he wants any chance of getting his arm raised at the end, he's got to get close, try and outwork Bowen. And on the flip side, I think Bowen has to keep it at range, keep it nice and long. If he can get full leverage on that right hand, he's going to hurt you.
Managing to a little bit more space at range to set the long shots up the last 30 seconds or so. But again, Benko's been game in the second round. And Bowen softening him up as the minutes tick by, just touching with that jab, right hand behind it. Nice finish to the round for the home fighter, but another good competitive round. And I spoke to Aaron Bowen in the week, and he said, we've asked for this guy, so I don't want knockover jobs, and I need somebody that's going to keep me switched on, keep me honest. And well, he's doing exactly that so far.
When you get on the inside, when he's clinching, I want you to fire shot, yeah? Keep going in. He's taller than you, right? He's taller than you. Bang, 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 yeah? He's holding, try and push, fire and short stuff, yeah? A lot better round though, yeah? Men's little cook, punch, yeah? Yeah, cool. Right? See what happens when punching, yeah? Doing a bit of damage.
Reminder for those of you who are new to it.
Corners,
75 bout amateur career, 5 national titles, Commonwealth Youth Gold, Commonwealth Senior Bronze last year, with wins over Carol Italian in the ABA semi-final, George Crotty in the light heavyweight final 2019, beat Harris Khan in the GB3 Nations that year too. He can box, but he really likes to fight. I think all the basics are there for him to be a really exciting pro and a building fan base as well.
Yeah,
That's around the outside.
He does, Chris. You know, he's very popular, as you say, sells the tickets, but well scored. But what I like and what the fans are going to like is he's got that bit between his teeth. He's got that fire. He wants to excite.
He's starting to read those left hooks now that he got caught with in that first round. They're starting to just sail past him. And stiff arm him with that jab as well, give himself the space that he needs to work and lever him back. Just needs to be careful of that. He'll get warned a couple of times by the referee in the last 30 seconds. Short right hand to the body. Benko trying to counter in combinations again.
Good work. Good variation there. There was uppercut, hooks to head and body. Nice work by Bowen. Starting to go through the gears. Holding centre ring.
Yeah, he's putting them shots together well, isn't he?
Yeah, more spice on those work, and Benko certainly will be feeling those. He's bobbing, weaving, trying to get past that jab so he can let the shots go. Nice left hook under the elbow, just missed a second.
You know, you was mentioning there when you're pushing off your opponent, you don't really need to do that as he's doing there. Use your opponent's momentum, take the step back, and hopefully they'll fall onto the shots, as opposed to having to push. You've got the referee on your back that way, but just use their momentum to walk them onto shots. You'll learn that as you go along.
Yeah, they've done their research. He knows anytime he loads up with that single right hand that the counters are coming back. Well, that's been good work for him so far through these 3 rounds minutes ago.
Really nice left to the body, went in just on the arms that time. Sunk it in well. Doesn't offer much of a target though, Benko, does he? Tucks up really well, gets into his shell.
Yeah, he's disguising that body shot quite well, touching up the middle and coming back down.
Just stayed a little bit close on the exit to the right-hand side a moment ago and just caught with that left hook upstairs again and again, just lifting up a little tool. Venko reminding him he's brilliant when he shortens him up. Nice right hand, just screwed that over the top. And Bowen knows he's in a scrap here. In a sense, he's in control, but the threat really is there from the Slovenian. 30 seconds to go on the clock.
Yeah, he's a real handful, Venko. We've seen the variation again, the uppercut left to the body, good work. But again, Venko's still there, still game, still rugged, unfazed, moving his feet well out of range.
Well, Errol Johnson, just the back of the shot there, knows his boxing, knows how to match fighters, and would have done his research on Venko. They knew exactly what they were in for. Ambo knew he was in for a tough fight. He said, I rate the guy. He said, I know he's going to give me some rounds. I know he's going to ask me some questions. But he's dealt with him so far pretty well, Bowen. But the danger's still there. That left hook, just when that right hand drops, he stays a little bit long, or he just lifts up a little bit tall. He's been caught with it flush a couple of times. It was a nice right hand in that round from Venko as well. He will sense that he's behind, but he knows he's still in with a chance. He's landed enough clean to have more than just a little bit of hope in this fight. This is how you want to see young prospects matched as we head into round number 4.
I think it's a wise decision as well, going straight for the 6 rounders as well, because I think sometimes you can have nip and tuck a few rounds, and if it's a 4-round fight, you can almost become a draw. Or you can...
I think you did the same, didn't you? I think you went
straight in the 6s. I think that brings out the best in you as well.
Another good left hook. Went in there from Venko.
And the right hand over the jab as well. So just shutting the space down after he threw the shots that time, just to stifle the return fire from Venko. Just trying to touch him with that jab, keep the distance. Just not giving away lots though, Venko. As you mentioned, tight guard, short arms, covers a lot of the torso with the elbows, but also the gloves high up by the head as well.
And he looks to have his success. He'll look to trade, so when Bowen throws, he throws as well.
Again, just success with that short left hook.
This is where the feint comes into play, or comes handy, when your opponent's not offering much as far as openings are concerned. Feint, try and draw out the lead and fire back with the sharp counters. Oh, that was nice. Just missed with the shot. Step back through the right uppercut. Definitely the shot for the shorter man.
It's a great trick what he's doing as well when he's touching with the lead hand. I know that Leigh Wood does it very well as well. Gives him spot, give himself time and space. Sets up the shots.
Just lets you know where you are as well as they tie up it.
Just a little passage of play there. Another reminder to Bowen. You do your work, get out there. No, like that, exactly what you've done there. No need to, keep your feet there, keep your feet planted. Allowing your opponent to fire back with their own shots. Do your work, get out of range and fire back with your own.
It's an argument, Cyrus, well, I say, as he lands a right hand to the body, just could be more consistent round the flanks. You mentioned that early, and there he is, just right on cue. But the rattling of shots off from Venko, high speed and with force as well.
Yeah, it's great. Just see him tie up, nullify his work, start again. Doesn't need to go tit for tat, does he? Lovely uppercut up the middle.
Starting to find that safe head position up close, Bowen, just moving that head around his opponent, trying to nullify his work when he gets up close. Every time he lands one thudding shot to the body, the speed at which he counters in combinations of Slovenian. Again, the right hand upstairs. Really good finish to the round from Venko. And again, lands 3 or 4, pushing Bowen back. He responds, but some of those come off the gloves. And again, Venko just taking the feet back, making him miss. Really good finish to the round from the away fighter. In a real scrap here.
He is. That was a very good last minute to the round from Venko. just unfazed. He's, you know, not concerned at all. He picks his moments. He's not greedy. He'll wait for Bowen to throw his shots, and he'll just fire back, like you say, with blistering combinations, head and body. See the highlights here. He's had success, Venko, that's for sure. You see 4 shots coming forward, the 1-2. And Bowen firing back. There's that right hand. He's found the range with 3 unanswered shots there. He fires back Bowen, but misses. It was a good, like we say, last minute from Venko. That right hand, again, over that lead arm of Bowen. He just needs to get that up when he throws the jab. You see there, he needs to get it back to his chin as opposed to dropping it to his chest. That's allowing Venko to find that right hand.
Ball shot.
Check it out. Round 5.
It's got that kind of Joshua Ruiz one pattern to it. Smaller man just looking kind of slow and ponderous on the edge of punching distance. The bigger man just trying to keep him at bay with a jab. And the moment Bowen pulls the trigger, Venko, if he's in range, just comes back with such speed and explosivity. Nice left hook there and just stepped off the back of it. Stepped around Venko that time and just saw the left hook whistle past him.
Well, he's very crafty, Venko. I mean, you look at his record. I think this is his 10th contest. I mean, he has the look of a more experienced fighter, if I'm honest, Chris. Sort of picks his moments well, high guard, doesn't waste a great deal.
The kind of opponent, really, you'd want to put an 8-0, 9-0 prospect in with just at the point you wanted them to step up. And there's no harm in having a tough couple of early fights. We'll see Akif Fiaz in our second contest of the night against Costin Ion. He's had a couple of acid tests so far, and Steve Wood moved him around on the small hall circuit in the early days. Really, really tough, and I think it's done him wonders at this point. But, you know, we often say with prospects there'll be harder fights. I think Aaron Bowen can comfortably say he'll have easier fights in the next 5 or 6 than
sure.
this man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it brings back memories for Barcelona for me, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Yeah, we were all good experience for him as he just touches that jab against the guard of Venko, just steps around him trying to force the reset. Nice combination from Bowen there and just putting the shots together. The good news is, Cyrus, you made easy work of the Chris Jenkins fight, and that's and there was never any worries for any of us ringside.
Nah, it's entertainment business, isn't it?
Certainly was.
Everyone enjoyed it. Me and Chris certainly did.
And I tell you what, Venko is bringing his part to the entertainment in our first contest here, just putting the hands together. Again, rattling the shots off, landed 2 or 3 to the head of Aaron Bowen. He just inches, steps off his man with a minute to go in round number 5.
Yeah, nice high guard from Venko. It was a good 3-punch combination. Trying to use his feet here, trying to walk Venko onto the shots, Bowen. Nice right to the body. Good opening contest, this.
Really good so far, and Venko just trying to walk his man down, press the pace, let the hands go. Nice right hand off the lower tap there, and again Bowen just backs up into the corner. Venko really coming on strong in these last couple of rounds. Really fancies this. Bowen just putting the shots together. Right hand uppercut through the middle. Venko responds.
Yeah, it seems like Venko's growing in a little bit of confidence, isn't he?
That's good work from Bowen towards the end of the round. Just fires 3 shots down the middle, then the uppercut just smothers the return fire from Venko. And it's, we're heading to the minute break before the final round.
Quality round again. Quality round again.
Number 6.
Yeah. On that inside work, yeah, them little flurries upsetting him, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the same. It's the aggressive Venko just getting on the chest of Bowen. When Bowen finishes throwing his shots, he just lets his hands go, just coming tall. Bowen, you see there, offering the target, that right hand over the top. There's been a good shot for Venko.
I mean, you're taught after you punch to defend 2 or 3, but I mean, he's coming back at him with 4s and 5s here, up close, heavy-handed, fast, rattling shots. And Bowen's taken them all well, but he'll look back at this and it's a tough introduction to the pro game. Thank goodness this isn't his debut. It could be an off-putting one.
And the final round.
He's dealt with the problem as well, as has Venko. Really interesting opening contest here, as again Bowen just tries to nudge his man back off balance and go to work. Venko misses with a couple. The arcing right hand round the side there, and again Bowen just steps off him. Venko rattles a few shots up the middle.
Good action in the last round. Brilliant work from Venko, but back come Bowen with 3 shots. Great stuff. Really, really entertaining first fight here in Manchester.
Yeah, this fight's going to pay dividends for Bowen later on in his career, 100%.
Yeah, he does love a scrap. He's not ever shy of taking fights like this and being in close, entertaining scraps for the sake of the crowd and for his development as well. I think you'd be surprised though how good Venko has been tonight, as he just fires a 1-2 down the middle from range, left hook to the body.
Good work there from Bowen.
Relentless, isn't he, Venko?
Yeah, well, I say it was good work. He was busy with the 2s. 1s, go again, 2 shots, go again, 2 shots. When he's throwing combinations, Bowen, he's allowing Venko to come back with the shots, the single shots, the 2 shots, been more effective. But back comes Venko, good work to the body. Just been relentless, hasn't he?
Sinking him in with force as well. Yeah, Bowen just trying to stand and trade with him. Oh, Venko having some real success with that right hand over the top.
I'd like to see Bowen get back to the touching. I think he gives himself plenty of rest and plenty of space. He can see what's going to happen. I feel like he doesn't need to be on the inside with Venko.
Well, welcome to the professionals, Aaron Bowen. This is how hard it can get sometimes.
Venko letting the shots go as well. Just fancies something as the final minute ticks by. Aaron Bowen just clinching for a moment. I have to say though, no problem with Aaron Bowen's engine whatsoever. He's fought at a really good pace and mixed it with Venko. Fires a 1-2 down the middle, and again off the double jab, just putting the shots together long, not allowing Venko to get close. He knows he needs a strong finish to this round just to put a punctuation on a close competitive fight here. Venko just dips into range, left hook upstairs, starting to really put the shots together. Bowen trades with him, and the legs of Venko just dip for a moment. 25 on the clock.
What a fight for a second fight, mind you.
Oh, I thought we were easing you into the night. How wrong you were, folks.
What a final round. Brilliant contest. Honestly, I take my hat off to both men here.
Superb stuff as Bowen starts to sit down on the shots. Venko willing himself through the fire. Lovely right hand on the final bell from Aaron Bowen. Terrific fight, and you see the respect between the pair of them there, because he knew it was going to be tough. I don't think Cyrus Patterson, he thought it was going to be quite that tough.
Definitely. It's a strange thing when you're in a fight like that. It's almost you're getting to welcome each other into a sort of brotherhood, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a cracker. That really, really was a good, entertaining first fight. I mean, yeah, there's your introduction to the professional game. It was just relentless pressure from Venko. When he picked his opportunities, he didn't waste them. You see there, he didn't just throw 1 or 2, he threw 8, 10, 12 shots. And then you see Aaron Bowen firing back with his own shots, but just that real will to win, that pressure, that desire was so impressive from Venko.
It was, and we go to the scorecards. Fighters at centre ring. Let's hear from David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a nice round of applause for both of these fighters, please. After 6 rounds here in Manchester, referee John Latham's scorecard reached 60-55 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Aaron Bowen.
So Aaron Bowen gets it in a fight he'll look back on potentially as something that has helped his progression, but he won't want too many more like that in the next few. But he does get the win, and he does go 2-0 here in Manchester.
We are into the final, and that's amazing.
And yet another European final awaits.
Barcelona have the breakthrough.
small game. I think anything can happen.
Eindhoven, here they come.
To the 8th Women's Champions League final live on DAZN next Saturday. Barcelona face Wolfsburg on Sunday. 2 more mega events for the IPL cricket final and AEW Double or Nothing. And don't forget, NFL Game Pass is coming soon as ever. Check your local schedules for availability. Well, here we are from Manchester. Chris Lloyd here with Cyrus Pattinson and Darren Barker, as always. What an opening scrap we've had tonight. Welcome if you're just joining us. We've got 2 more fights for you on Before the Bell before we go live on DAZN at 7 o'clock. Next up is Campbell Hatton and Michal Bulik to bring them to the ring, as always. Let's head to our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the AO Arena, we are set to go with a special super lightweight attraction. Making his way to the ring, Michal Taz Bulik.
From the Silesia boxing stable from Opole in Poland, Michal Bulik. He won his last fight against Dimitri Tranel, who you remember was in with Pat McCormack, who's out again in the summer. And, of course, Cyrus Pattinson is with us at the desk tonight. That was over in France the same night Cordina recaptured the IBF Super Featherweight World title in Cardiff. Bulik is 6-2, a southpaw. Campbell Hatton's first left-handed opponent. That's the main headline for this fight. What problems can he pose from the opposite stance, and how will Campbell Hatton deal with him?
And now making his way to the ring, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
Second scheduled 8-rounder after showing some good progress in his last couple of fights. Had a really good win last time out against Lewis Fielding, who just done 10 rounds with Ishmael Ellis. Hatton stopped him inside the first with a left hook to the body. Second first-round knockout in his last 3 fights as he starts filling out into super lightweight. He's had some really good southpaw sparring with Kez Ashfaq, Maxi Hughes and Jazz Dickens. So in this camp, they prepared him properly for a left-hander. And speaking to Matthew Hatton, his uncle and trainer yesterday, he seems very happy with the progress his nephew has made and would like him to get some rounds in the bank tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super lightweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Stagefront, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, from Barry, scoring A-star referee, Mr. John Latham. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black trunks. He scaled 9 stone, 12 pounds, 9 ounces. His professional record, 6 wins against 2 defeats. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Opole, Poland. Please welcome Michal Taz Bulik. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears black with green trim. He scaled 10 stone, 1 pound, 15 ounces. His professional record, a perfect one. 11 fights, 11 victories, 4 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Manchester, England. Please welcome the undefeated Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
Right, lads, you'll expect from you both, you obey me instructions at all times. When I tell you to break, you both break clean. Defend yourselves at all times, and the best luck to you both. Touch gloves.
A little hush of expectation here in the Manchester Arena. Hatton's brought like a few hundred fans out to see him at this early stage of the evening. His first 8-rounder ended in a couple of minutes. Can Michał Bulik from Poland provide him with any more resistance? I listed some of the names that he's had for sparring these last few weeks. Matthew Hatton very pleased with the progress he's made, and well, after some early criticism, Darren, I think we've genuinely seen some improvements the last couple of fights, looking much more composed, picking the body shots, and looking like he's punching harder as well.
Absolutely. It was always going to be baby steps, you know, work in progress, very limited amateur experience, but he is moving in the right direction. That fort is there. He snaps the shots out more instead of pushing them. The left hook to the body is a very hurtful shot. You know, when he doubles it up, head, body, taps upstairs, drops it to the body. It's a beautiful combination.
Yeah, definitely. We need to remember as well, he's only 22, isn't he? 12th fight. But he's making good progress, like you're saying. He's stopped 2 of his last 3 fights, so he's making good progress.
In the talking point there, you mentioned Chris being the first lefty, first southpaw that he's been in with a pro. I'm looking forward to seeing how he approaches this fight. Will he get his foot on the outside? Will he vary it up? Will he get the right hand?
He just through the middle as he took a right hand through the middle there, just as he was on the turn, Bulik.
Different ways to approach fighting a southpaw, and as a novice fighter, let's see how Campbell deals with the change in stance.
To be honest, I used to hate fighting southpaws, so that's why I became one.
Yeah, it's crazy, but you know, for the listener at home, the viewer at home who hasn't boxed, you probably hear this all the time. What is it about fighting a southpaw if you're an orthodox? Well, they do pose different questions. Certainly when I was an amateur, there wasn't as many southpaws. You come up against a lot more orthodox fighters than you did southpaws, and you know, there's always that battle with the front foot. So there's a lot of questions that you're asked when you're fighting a southpaw, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Campbell answers them this evening.
I think one of the biggest problems as well that you've got to overcome is the distance. Because twice the amount of distance is what it would be for the same stance. So it's just doubling up the jab and making sure you're getting your feet in before. You don't want to be caught in limbo.
Bulik just looking for the slip left hand. Hatton just dips off to the right hand side. It sailed past him. Nice right hand down the middle.
Uncle Matthew asking for him not to load up. Sound advice. Snap the shots out. That was a nice jab. Swayed out of range and fired back with the shot. Good boxing.
He's certainly got the edge in reflexes and hand speed apparent in these early stages as Bulik just exits from that corner, steps around. Hatton just hunts him down again on the front foot, barreling into range. End of round 1.
Big deep breath.
A bit of a Manchester family affair tonight. We'll have the debut of young William Crawler up next, 17 years after older brother Anthony made his debut in the same arena. That was the right hand just on the turn that just momentarily staggered the legs of Bulik, landed a left hand there, but Hatton's dealt with the danger well in those first 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was just good thinking from Hatton. Wasn't rushing anything, did take a couple. It was a nice right hand. It staggered Bulik. See if we can follow that up in the second round.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 2.
So into the second we go. Already had a brilliant scrap in our first contest of the night between Aaron Bowen and Aliasvenko. Went 6 rounds, back and forth action between 2 pros with top international experience. Bowen coming out on top as Hatton just works the right hand upstairs, then to the body.
Yeah, that was good. When you're fighting the southpaw, instead of throwing that left that he favours, he's throwing the right to the body, and you'll have better success with that shot. Threw it again there as Bulik was crouching down, so good work by Hatton.
Yeah, he's definitely finding a space for that ball up the middle, isn't he, as he steps on the outside of the lead foot.
around him. Use your legs. Get them hands free. Good lad.
Good work there. Sorry, Cyrus. From Hatton, doubling up with the hooks there.
I don't know if you remember the feeling of clashing knees against an opposite stance. That's a very painful one.
Good shot.
Just left to the body there as Bulik was on the turn. Hatton just trying to cut the space off. Again, looks for that left hook under the elbow.
That was a good right hand. Over the top, led with the shot. Nice left to the body. This is good work. He's picking the shots well, Hatton.
Just get the sense Bulik's under a little bit more pressure now. The space just looking a little tighter for him. Just a slight sense of rush in his body language as again a right hand to the body lands.
Body shots are going in well on them.
Yeah, that was a good shot, lads, from Hatton. That right to the rib cage of Bulik. Good pressure on the front foot. And I like he's not rushing the work, Hatton. When he loads up with the shots, you can see him from a mile off. He's just got to snap the shots out, pick the shots. And we're seeing that as the fights are progressing for Hatton.
Decent counters there from Bulik, just in combination. An awkward style, jerky rhythm with the upper body and leaps in and pivots around Hatton at times, trying to escape from the corner. But that's better work from the Manchester fighter. The left hook off the attack upstairs. Decent little spell from Bulik though, just asking a few questions of Hatton, making sure he's tight defensively, boxing well on the back foot.
Yeah, when you see the shots fire out from Bulik there, they're the kind of, when I talk about speed from Hatton, I want to see speed of reaction, I want to see speed of feet. It's not always about hands, it's about defence as well. Quick, sharp head movement. Everything has to be quick. If you want to go through the levels in this game, you've got to be quick. And I don't just mean with your hands, with your feet, with your head. Got to be sharp in this game.
Just a little mouse under the right eye of Hatton, and the left hand that landed there is probably the shot that caused it earlier on in the round. He's got the same sharp features as his dad. Of course, he cut a lot in and around the eye area. When he have those problems, he's got a good cuts man in his corner, and Kerry Kay's on the left of your screen there, just trying to preempt any potential problems. Some replays of some of the body work from Hatton, just catching him with that arcing right hand when he's on the turn there, Cyrus.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice shot as well. I think when you're extending from your own shot, you can't really brace for the shot, so
just good pressure. It's, good pressure on the front foot. He's not just being wild with the shots that we see early days. He's more fought, and that's what we've been calling for from Hatton.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've noticed after his last few fights as well, he's starting to implement a lot more feints.
Seconds out, round 3.
He's getting a lot more bites, and I think that's going to open up, and I think that's maybe why he's getting a few more stoppages as well.
Spring in the step of Michał Bulik as we start the third round. Pouring out with that southpaw jab. Difficult rhythm to read the Polish fighter. Again, just looking to counter off that little lean back. And he's off balance when he kind of pivots off that left hand, but it kind of works for him. Hard to read where the shots are coming from, awkward angles. And again, just gets himself back to centre ring. That's where Hatton needs to stay patient in these little passages of play where Bulik is making things awkward.
That's where we see some of the inexperience from Hatton when he's under attack. Sometimes he can come tall, the hands drop, and sort of found wanting a little bit. Just needs to get that chin back down to his chest, move his head, move his feet.
Making Bulik miss there and just countering with the right hand there, and again with the left hook.
One thing, you have to give Hatton a lot of credit. Every time he fights, he approaches it with real desire and will to win. Though he's learning on the job and experience is being gained every time he fights, but he approaches the fight with real desire. Like I say, he's on the front foot, he tries to work, tries to let his hands go, he wants to entertain, he wants to excite.
Yeah, I think he's fighting in that place as well for that Hatton, the trademark left hook to the body, isn't it? That he's got his 2 previous knockouts by.
Yeah, he certainly looked for it a couple of times. A little bit of reddening under that right elbow of Bulik, but at the same time, he's done his research, the away fighter. Just seen him drop that elbow down, keep it nice and tight, knows the kinds of shots that Hatton is looking for. He's had more success. That right hand down the middle that he lands again there.
Yeah, feet are going to be important here, Chris. He's got to cut the ring off. Bulik's moving an awful lot now, trying to stay out of trouble, so it's important for Campbell to now cut the ring off.
He just looks for those wild singles and tries to exit off of them laterally, left and right. Does so on cue there.
That was a nice backhand down the middle, down the middle of Hatton's jab there.
Crafty, isn't he?
Yeah. As he pivoted off to the side.
Awkward, tricky, crafty, nice right hand as Hatton just bowed forward into range there, a little bit square on.
Bulik just trying to frustrate Hatton at the minute, trying to make him fall short with shots after loading up. He's trying to play his part, Bulik.
Had a really good round there, didn't he? And a really, really good round. Let's have a look at some of the work that Bulik landed in that contest. Cyrus just saying he was using those singles as Hatton comes in a little square just to exit off of them. And I swear Hatton just needs to be a little more patient on the edge of punching distance, use those feints, not take the bait so much.
Yeah, I do feel that's a counter that you need to be cautious of sometimes when you're looking to close the space with that double jab, that backhand down the middle of the jab. Lomachenko does it very well, as you've seen from last weekend, down here in his jab and pivoted off to the side. So I think that's a shot that you need to be very careful.
See the evidence just on the right side of the face of Hatton, some of the left hands that have got through, particularly in that last round. Bulik certainly did enough to take that round. Asking plenty of questions of him as we start to approach the midway point of this contest, and how awkward, ungainly style, hands low now, starting to really fiddle around, and Hatton just trying to work the body.
Yeah, he's trying to unsettle Hatton here. Bulik moving, using his hands a lot.
It's very hard sometimes not to get sucked into going head hunting, isn't it, and aim for the chest and the throat when you've got someone like Bulik. When he's waving his hands around, he's quite elusive.
Hard to see when the shots are coming from when he's milling with the hands so much. They're down by his waist. He's changing lead hand position as well. Very, very awkward, very unorthodox.
Yeah, you bring your feet in, and when you're fighting these kind of opponents that are trying to mess you around a little bit, this is where you stab the jab to the body. You work downstairs first, then work upstairs. He'll be expecting Hatton to be throwing shots to the head first, Bulik, so he'll be able to read them and move out the way or try and fire back with counters. So that's where you work the body first with the straight shots.
I'd like to see Hatton go back with his feints as well, and that's where I think you can get a reaction, get him a shell, and then I think that's when you can get your shots off before you move him back off.
Right now, Bulik just looking like he's getting into a nice rhythm here, just settling in, feeling himself, ducking out the way of shots, seeing a lot of this coming, and even there, just a bolo off that little bit of showboating, and a mouthpiece has come out there. See if John Latham spots that. I think he has.
He'll like this though, Hatton. The fact that he's making Bulik work an awful lot. There's a lot of movement coming from Bulik, and we're only in the 4th round at the minute, so can he keep applying this pressure, Hatton, and hope the work rate, the movement of Bulik fades, and then he can have his moments.
Well, the phrase awkward southpaw, I think, is overused and lazy, frankly, just because somebody's a left-hander. It's nice to be in a situation where we can use it properly, because Bulik really is an awkward southpaw, and he's causing some problems for Campbell Hatton after a decent start for the Manchester fighter.
Couple of lefts to the body, went in from Hatton.
Nice right hand off the roll there, and just trying to cut the ring off and keep him under pressure. Little breathe out there, just a deep breath from Bulik. Is he starting to feel the pace? Did he feel that right hand to the body?
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit more urgency from Hatton's work now, I feel.
that pressure, it's constant pressure by Hatton. Like I say, we're only in the 4th round. He's certainly feeling the pace, Bulik. He's still moving, but this will really take its toll in the later rounds.
And it's not just physically draining, it's mentally more so.
Yeah, he's moved a lot, hasn't he, especially the last couple of rounds, and Hatton looks pretty calm now. It doesn't look out of breath. He's pressing and, well, easier to chase than it is to run. Bulik loads up, just thumps a lead right hand off the guard of Hatton. Nice counter left hook upstairs.
Just come tall, throwing that right uppercut. Hatton just caught with a jab by Bulik.
Yeah, he's just starting to breathe heavily now for the first time in the contest, whether it's the pace of Hatton, whether it was that body shot that landed. He's still having moments of success. That one there, the left hand that sent the mouthpiece flying, but he's starting to look like the gas tank is running a little low.
Yeah, he's looked for the referee a few times there, Bulik, hasn't he?
Yeah, good pressure, good work to the body from Hatton there. One right through the middle and then round the side, and he felt that. I didn't catch that in the fight live.
Bit of a grimace, wasn't it?
I think that was where he went flat. And, well, we'll talk about the main event a little bit later on. Leigh Wood had a moment in the 5th round against Mauricio Lara in their first contest.
Corners,
that
10
right
seconds.
hand to the body in round 5 that suddenly sent Lara flat, and that was when the momentum shifted in Leigh Wood's favour. And I think there wasn't a person ringside that felt he wasn't going to take over at that point, but a thunderous left hook out of nowhere ended Leigh Wood's title reign as WBA featherweight world champion. That belt is up for grabs in our main event for Leigh Wood only, with the late drama that unfolded yesterday afternoon with Mauricio Lara missing the check weight and ultimately not making the championship weight of 126 pounds, and we will discuss how that may affect proceedings in between the next couple of fights here and before the belt. Welcome to those of you that are joining us. Chris Lloyd and Darren Barker on before the belt, and the legs of Mikhail Bulik have completely gone here, and John Latham steps in out of nowhere, and the fight just like that is all over. And, well, he was dancing around the ring the last couple of rounds, but he did a hell of a merry dance there, and his protest to Latham. But as a fighter, Darren, when the legs go, sometimes you don't know how hurt you are.
They were really gone as well, all over the place. Bulik was on the ropes. He did that similar Zab Judah dance against Costa Zoo. He was all over the place, had no idea how to regain his composure or his footing. You see it right around the side, back of the head, on the side, just behind that ear. And they really, really do scramble your senses. And he was looking, he was stalking Hatton. He was looking for that finish. You see there, really took everything away from Bulik, all over the place. He really, they're strange situations, those. You know exactly where you are, but you just cannot have any control over your feet, and that was what happened to Bulik there. He's all over the place. The referee jumps in, saves Bulik from further punishment.
Well, he landed a really nice lead right hook just before the shot landed above the ear, but, well, as you say, he was clear-headed. He felt he could carry on, but I think his legs said otherwise. And when you're in that situation, unfortunately, Sarge, you will know you're only 1 or 2 clean shots away from being knocked clean out.
But it's stoppage number 3 now in the last 4 fights for Hatton, and I'm sure he'll be pretty buzzing that he's got a head stoppage.
Well, he had to work through a really tricky patch in the 4th and the 5th round there. He was being pot-shotted and kind of fiddled from the outside by Bulik, who was having a few moments and just starting to threaten to gather a bit of momentum. But Hatton maintained his composure, stamped it out, and has got the stoppage. Let's go to David Diamante for the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee John Latham calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 38 seconds of round number 5. Your winner by TKO. He's still undefeated, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
Well, a very tricky test passed with flying colours by Campbell Hatton. A finish inside the 5th round, out of the blue, really. And the talk will be, where does he go next? Jimmy Flint is the super lightweight Central Area champion. It's a fight that we've discussed as a potential before. He stopped Joe Garside in the 10th and final round to become the champion in March, having lost a good scrap with Dom Hunt for the same title at 147 about 18 months ago. I think at this stage could be a really good domestic fight to make later on this year. one that maybe they will discuss with his team. But all smiles there in the Hatton camp, and well, a finish out of the blue, but a good one.
He'll be over the moon with that. Like Cyrus said, a shot to the head that finishes the job. Yeah, he'd be over the moon.
Yeah, it's an awful sensation that when you get hit around the yard drum like it's like an electric shock. Your legs don't belong to you anymore.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated with that boot lick because he was boxing well at points, but Campbell Hatton is stoppage ready. He's standing by with Eddie Hearn. Let's hear from him now, ringside, with Jamie Ward.
Campbell Hatton, congratulations. Tonight you faced your first southpaw opponent as a professional. How was your experience figuring out this new puzzle tonight?
Do you know what? Building up to it, we'd had a lot of good preparation for a southpaw. Like the sparring event's been world class. Maxie Hughes, Kez Ashfaq, Jazza Dickens. So we knew what I needed to do. It was just a case of applying myself on the night, which has been the story of my career, really. But I think we're getting there, and I knew. Like, he was a scrappy kid, so it was never going to be like the last one. It was always going to take, and we knew we were tough, so we knew it'd take a bit of breaking down. But I think I've shown how the experience I'm picking up is paying off, because at the start of my career, I'd just been throwing leather until I got him out there, where I think I was a bit more composed, took my time, and broke him down.
You looked to scramble his sentences there. Just talk us through the shot that ended it. Obviously, the referee jumping in, you felt that was the right call?
Yeah, so I think it was a right hand that did it, and his legs were all over the place, and he was scrappy, so it was hard to catch with anything really clean. But I had him pinned on the ropes when the ref jumped in, so he was going to get the kitchen sink. I don't know how much of the round we left, but I think the ref definitely made the right decision, saved him, because it was all over the place.
This is your third fight, Campbell, at the arena that means so much to your family and so much to you as well. But I imagine mentally, physically, you feel a far cry from the Campbell Hatton who's boxed here previously right now.
Yeah, like we say, I'm getting more composed with each fight, and I think I've shown it the most in that one, because I really took my time, and it could have got a lot scrappier if I'd have let it. So I think I've shown them picking up that experience, and with us having a home crowd, it could have easily got a bit carried away and got a bit giddy, but I think I kept me cool quite well.
Let's grab a word with promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, Campbell said at the press conference this week that the critics still remain one of the biggest sources of his motivation, but in terms of answering the questions that are being posed at him, what's he doing with performances like that?
Yeah, couldn't really care less about the critics. He's going at his own pace, at his own lane, and that's one of the reasons we stepped him back a little bit earlier in the card to get those learning experiences. Tonight was a southpaw. And the key to tonight was sometimes it hasn't got to be that pretty. He was awkward. It wasn't just a southpaw. He was an awkward southpaw looking to survive. He was pot-shotting every now and again. And like I said, it doesn't always have to be pretty. You can't afford at that level to let these guys mess you around through rounds 5, 6, 7, 8. Get them out of there. And if you do it, however it looks, it's job done. So tonight was a good experience for him, good learning curve. He's 12-0 now, which is quite remarkable. And as we come up to the end of this year, there's going to be stiffer tests. The rounds are going to start increasing. But it's important to get a variation of opponents like that, so you've got the experience. And we're really pleased with how he's coming along. Like I said, he's always going to get critics, but he's coming along nicely, dealing with all styles, back-to-back stoppages, and on to the next.
Let's grab uncle and trainer Matthew Hatton in as well. Matt, a box ticked. First southpaw for Campbell Hatton tonight. In terms of the progression, what made you happy with that?
Very good. He's had excellent sparring for this fight, and been sparring with top fighters, Maxie Hughes, Jazza Dickens, Kez Ashfaq, and doing very well in sparring with those guys. So that indicates to me how far he can go and how he's coming along nicely. And like Eddie touched on, very awkward southpaw there. He'd done the hard work, he'd got the job done, he'd softened him up, and I think we was going to see a knockout, and that's the referee's job to stop that happening. The fans want to see it, maybe we want to see it, but the ref steps in at the perfect time there and saved him.
Just final word from you, Campbell. Your third fight already of a very active 2023. Are you enjoying these quick turnarounds, or do you feel you've earned a little bit of a rest now and perhaps a takeaway as well?
Wouldn't mind a little takeaway, and I think I's desperate for me to get back on the takeaways because they're struggling, I'm telling you. But I'd go for one with our man there, but he looked fucking livid.
But in terms of the activity, you're happy, and this is the momentum you want to keep going for 2023?
Yeah, definitely get out a couple more. It's paying off. We've seen it with each one. I'm starting the camps in a really good place, and I'm just building all the time, technically, physically, and obviously with the maturity in the ring. So as busy as I can be this year. Won't mind a little rest, though.
We'll leave that one up to Eddie. Until then, congratulations, Campbell. Well done.
Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why. Creme de la creme right here, I'm coming for you. Problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The 30 is back, tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling.
Well, you won't want to miss that. Jake Paul takes on Nate Diaz, August 5th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Well, good evening and welcome to those of you who are joining us here in the Manchester Arena. 2 fights down, 1 to go here on Before the Bell. And we will go live at 7 o'clock ahead of a big night of action here in Manchester. Leigh Wood walking back into the fire 12 weeks after losing to Mauricio Lara. Cyrus, just a quick one from you. Keys to victory for Leigh Wood. What could we see from him tonight?
I'd like to see Leigh Wood operate as a southpaw as well. I mean, being a southpaw against an opposite stance, I think it gives a little bit more space and navigate away from Lara's dangerous left hook.
Darren, bodywork from the southpaw stance, could that be crucial for Leigh Wood tonight?
I think from both stances, I think the jab from orthodox and southpaw, absolutely crucial. This is the most important thing. He has to stay switched on. For Leigh Wood, in order for Leigh Wood to win this fight, he has to be switched on and focused for 12 rounds. Lara only needs a split second. So it's so intriguing, it's so interesting. The feet are so important for Leigh Wood. I mean, there's so many variations, so many different ways as this fight can be won or lost for both. I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, poised on a knife edge, and we'll be on the edge of our seats throughout the whole of it. As we were for fight number 1, we caught up with both our main eventers to get their thoughts on the first time they tangled 12 weeks ago.
Yeah, I could hear the crowd in the change room, to be honest. It was a special night. The entrance really picked me up, as it does. And that's why I wanted to be on the stage and for the Monacan tide, because I knew it would lift me up. Yeah, just a special night, and everyone really got behind me for the fight, and I can't thank them enough for it.
Todo, recuerdo todo desde el principio, créeme que recuerdo todo desde el principio, desde que entro, desde que estaban los mariachis, desde que estaba la arena, desde que la gente, y neta, como lo he dicho, me dio con guante blanco desde que me recibió con aplausos y con buenos alientos.
As soon as I got in there initially, the first round, I braced and it didn't feel that heavy at all. But what he is fast and he's sharp.
Mauricio Lara had a lot more respect for Lee's power than we anticipated. He was a lot less reckless as we prepared for.
Esa pelea, ese knockout lo habíamos buscado desde el principio, no se dio, como he dicho, Leigh Wood es un peleador bueno.
Both men looking very dangerous, but both men also looking very vulnerable. Good body shot from Leigh Wood, shaking ahead from Lara, but he steps back.
The success I was having, I made a bit of a decision. I started landing more shots and start holding my feet and trying to nail him a little bit more, because I seen he was breathing a bit. I was already establishing a lot of shots before that, so I held my feet a bit, basically told him to go and swap shots with me, which was a mistake.
Oh! Downward goes the danger, very much still there.
Ese golpe todos piensan que es de suerte y no, ese golpe lo practiqué en cada día del entrenamiento, del campamento, y era cuestión de tiempo para que llegara.
I remember getting up, and I probably got up a little bit too fast. You kind of think, how long have I been out? Because like a little switch goes off and comes straight back on. Sometimes a fraction of a second, but because it's the off and on, you don't know how long you've been there. So in my head, I'm thinking, I thought, right, get up as fast as I can. He could be on 8 or 7 for all I know. So I jumped up.
Dying seconds at the 7th round. Can Lara finish it here now? And the towel comes in from Ben Davison.
I have a ride in memory when the fight got stopped. Just complete heartbreak.
Pasó por mi cabeza que ya como que me cayó una bandeja de agua fría y ya se había cumplido mi sueño.
Stand by your decision, if so, why?
Yeah, just like, obviously I've had the conversation with Leigh. I can't sit here, I'll never be able to sit here and say, I definitely know this was the situation, this was going to be the outcome. I just wasn't sure if he was able to defend himself in that moment. It was a risk that I wasn't willing to take, especially with a rematch clause on the cards. You have to make those decisions in those moments, and that's the decision that I made.
Any fighter really would rather be carried out than stopped by the ref or the towel thrown in. And that's why you have your cornerman, that's why you have your team there to look after you. With everything we had with the rematch and that, Ben made the right call.
Well, last year, Ben Davison and Leigh Wood snatched victory from the jaws of defeat against Michael Conlon. They had a taste of their own medicine against Mauricio Lara. It was all going so well, and it all ended in an instant, and it could do tonight as well. On a knife edge, this fight, and of course the late drama with Mauricio Lara missing the weight yesterday's weigh means that he loses his belt on the scales. It is still up for grab for Leigh Wood, but extra jeopardy for the Nottingham fighter here in Manchester tonight. Lots coming up as well. Before then, we'll be seeing next up the debut of young William Crolla, 12 years the junior of Anthony Crolla, who made his professional debut. It was the Joe Calzaghe Sakio Bika undercard, 2006. He was a tough man, Sakio Bika, wasn't he? Head like a brick. So that was when Anthony Crolla made his debut. Had some brilliant nights here as a professional, and well, him and his brother have agreed to do a trainer-manager partnership, and Anthony said he has drifted in and out of the sport at times. Really talented, really exciting, looks like he can punch a little bit too, and we're going to see the professional debut of him and see what he's got to offer us. For the Crolla family name rolls on here in Manchester, Darren. Yeah, it's been a pleasure spending the week with him. He's buzzing to get going. He can't wait. He's watched his brother. He's seen the success that his brother has. He'll try and emulate that, get this local fans behind him, and set his career off on a great run. Plenty to look forward to as well. We'll open proceedings at 7 o'clock with English welterweight title. Danny Ball and Jamie Robinson. You were touted as an opponent for Danny Ball at some point. I know you'll have an eye on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be keeping a close eye. Maybe it's the end of the year. We'll see what happens. One fight at a time.
Yeah, of course, Eko Esimin, the only man to beat Danny Ball. We may grab a word with him. I believe he's going to be ringside a little bit later on. He'll have an eye too. Danny Ball, of course, will want to set his sights on a rematch with Esimin. They sparred recently in preparation for this. Jamie Robinson has done things the hard way indeed. He's been through a spell in prison. He's beaten cancer. Had numerous cancellations and injuries through the pandemic, but in spite of it, he is still here, and he has a big opportunity after a good win 4 weeks ago against Ben Fields at York Hall. He's a handful, and I think that's a really, really good scrap for the English title at welterweight to open proceedings on DAZN. But that will be in about, what time is it now? 40 minutes. But right now, the professional debut of William Crolla to bring him and his opponent Joe Hardy to the ring. Let's head to our MC, as always, Mr. David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set to go with a special super welterweight attraction, set to make his ring walk, Joe Hardy.
So Joe Hardy from Leeds, 28 years of age. He's 2-9. He's already assumed the away corner role. Been in with a number of undisputed light middleweight prospects in the last 12 months. The likes of Josh Franken, Joe Jenkins, Ryan Waldridge, Travis Waters, who was the first fighter to stop him, did so inside a round. That was in Bolton in March. Waters a southpaw. We know that William Crolla can switch hit and he can punch as well. Waters came out the blocks fast, attacked the body hard early. And, well, Will Crolla, will we see him do the same out of the southpaw stance? What sort of resistance can Hardy offer the debutant from Manchester in our final contest here on Before the Bell?
And now set to make his very first ring walk as a professional, William Crolla.
Well, it was October 2006 that he made his debut in this very arena. And this young man was right there to see him. Will Connor, Anthony's younger brother by 12 years, about to ring walk on his professional debut in a little slice of boxing family history. Trained and managed by that man. He's drifted in and out of the sport, was a very talented amateur, and the word from his brother was, if you commit to the sport and you give it everything in the gym and everything that I ask of you, I'm all in as well. So brotherly love, and they've set themselves up as a professional duo here. And he sets up professionally, quite different to his brother. He's rangy, loose, a switch hitter, heavy-handed by all accounts that I've gathered so far from people that have sparred him. And he understands the Crawler name has gifted him an opportunity to showcase his talents here, but he wants to do the family name justice. William Crawler on his pro debut in Manchester.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super welterweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, scoring A-star referee from Fleetwood, Mr. Steve Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the blue, yellow, and white. He's scaled 11 stone, 4 pounds, 5 ounces. His professional record, 2 victories against 9 defeats. He fights out of Leeds. Please welcome Joe Hardy. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white with brown and gold. He scaled 11 stone, 2 pounds, 9 ounces. Tonight, he makes his much anticipated professional debut, fighting out of Manchester, England. Introducing William Crawler.
Go on, William. Okay, boys, if I call break, take a step back. Don't deliberately throw punches to the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, 4 rounds. Good luck, boys.
So Steve Gray with the final instructions on the professional debut of William Crawler. Final hug with his brother.
He looks so relaxed, doesn't he?
He does, and he has all week. 4 rounds ahead. This one was agreed at 11.3, which is 157 pounds. Speaking to Anthony, he thinks he can take a little bit more off. Already starting in the southpaw stance, fizzes a left hand down the middle, and Joe Hardy looks to be in a little bit of trouble. Is he buzzed already?
Very positive start from Crawler on the front foot, letting his hands go with real spite. Wants to get this job done early. Only been stopped twice. Hardy, so it'd be an impressive debut if he wants to get Joe Hardy out of there.
He was just caught on the turn as he switched to orthodox for a moment there. Crawler, Joe Hardy, first meaningful shot of the contest landed for him.
Listen to the noise as well, lads.
He's done over 300 tickets, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, some of his brother supporters, they would have been, you know, gutted when the career ended of Anthony Crawler. Now they've got somebody else to support. The younger brother, William Crawler, in full voice. Really getting behind their man. You see him just switching there from orthodox to southpaw, back to orthodox. Little skip forward, really getting in front of Hardy. Lots of pressure on the front foot from the local man.
Yeah, it'd be great for William Crawler as well tonight. He's experienced every part of fight week and fight night. The change rooms, the setup, the build-up, but now it's finally his turn.
I think of Anthony's 44, 45 professional fights, he was there for all but 2 of them. And he does understand the atmosphere of these big nights and the pressures too. He's seen it all, but it is him now that is taking the risk and rolling the dice as a pro. So his aim is to win a domestic title, potentially in English or a British, which I think is a very reasonable and achievable aim over the next few years. Of Crawler, of course, has made a brilliant transition to boxing trainer now. He's working with Rhiannon Dixon. He was doing some work with Alex Dilmagani the last couple of years too, passing on that knowledge.
Again, good pressure, nice right to the body. There was a couple of reminders earlier in the round from Hardy. Landed a nice right uppercut and a left hook.
Yeah, countering him well with that right hand down the middle. Has he got the power to keep Crawler off? Doesn't look like it at this point, as he just keeps the hands high, steps around the outside of the ring.
Good work on the front foot from Crawler. He just brought his foot across, trying to step. He's following Hardy around the ring a little bit. Just earlier, he stepped across and he started to cut the ring down and pin Hardy into the corner.
Just a little bit of tension in the arms there, Cyrus. I'm sure you can imagine that too and understand on his debut there is pressure.
I think the first round's out the way now. Hopefully he'll start to loosen up. And
what do you remember of your first round as a pro?
Very apprehensive. I was quite bouncy, to be fair, and I say Williams, he's taking smaller steps than that, and he did look really relaxed early on. My debut in Newcastle as well, so I know that home venue does bring a lot of added pressure, doesn't it?
I hope you don't ask me, Chris, because I can't remember what I've done yesterday.
Long time ago, that your debut. I'm going to say one of the success stories, Anthony Crawler, of the last 10 years. I think we can just about still fit you in that sentence. Is it August, isn't it? The 10-year anniversary. Atlantic City, 2013. Darren Barker, world champion. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all.
I'll give you that £20 later, mate.
Thank you, mate. I think it was 40, but...
Okay.
Maybe happy with that.
Yeah, I went to stand a little bit, he felt it, right?
Cyrus said that he's got his debut first round out of the way.
I'll tell you what, Joe Hardy was decent on the back foot there, landed some decent right hands on the counter when Crawler was operating out the southpaw stance. Orthodox now, just stabs that jab to the body. Into round 2 of 4 we go. Final contest here on Before the Bell. If you're just joining us, welcome. Big night of boxing ahead as Mauricio Lara and Leigh Wood will battle in our main event. A rematch from 12 weeks ago. Lara losing the belt on the scales, but it is up for grabs. The WBA featherweight world title for Leigh Wood if he is victorious. It is a big ask. Nice counter left hand from Crawler. Hardy just went low and he just tucks up. Did he feel that one? I think he did.
Might have a bit more success, Crawler, fighting out the orthodox stance. And the reason I say that is Hardy's moving a lot to his left. They walk onto that right hand. I mean, look, you still have success with the lead hand from the southpaw stance, but you get more leverage, more rotation in the shot when you're firing it from an orthodox stance. So let's see if he can walk Hardy onto one of those right hands.
Hardy just keeping the hands high and tight on the outside.
Nice snappy jab from Hardy, comes back with a nice check, left hook. Nice left hand down the guard of Hardy as well. Good pressure once again from Crawler.
Hardy dipping and rolling, just trying to cover up and take the brunt of the shots, and he does so well. Just getting backed into a corner here, just trying to find a little bit of extra space.
Like we spoke about earlier, I think it was nice to see a couple of feints there. We could see Hardy shell up. Crawler could get his shots off nicely.
I think I've seen enough already to know moving forward we're going to see Crawler in some really good fights. You know, he grabs the fight by the scuff of the neck, you know, gets stuck in, he wants to be on the front foot. You can see he's naturally aggressive, so I don't think he's going to leave people disappointed as far as action's concerned whenever he fights.
Just looking for a wild counter with the left hand there. It's Hardy stepped in and just fell over his front foot momentarily. Again now just jabbing with that right hand. Very natural switch hitter. Pretty effortless on that front foot.
Yeah, a debut in your home city is always a big ask as well, and I think he's handling it very good so far.
Nice right hand, left hook at the end of the round. End of round number 2. Good finish to the round for William Crawler. And we're going to listen into the instructions from his brother.
It's downstairs where he's hurting. Listen, he's felt a few up top. But the stoppage is going to come. It's going to be a few shots downstairs, yeah? Don't worry, you're not so it's just a little breeze where he's in class. Okay, deep breath. You don't feel tired at all, do you? If you want it and want it well, you don't have to ask me that, yeah? Okay? Good. You're boxing nice. The only thing I'll say a little bit, step across to your right a little bit more, because that's allowing him the breathing time. He's starting to feel this now. This round now, I want you to turn it up a little bit, mate, yeah? So it might come then, yeah? I'm not saying, man, I'm not asking it doesn't come up. It might come, but you've got to turn it up this round, yeah? Touching, making him work, because what happens when he works, he becomes uncomfortable, yes? The chin comes up high. Little bend, number 1, 2 will come, yeah? Okay, good stuff. So nice and switched on, he's looking for the cat, but you've got to be making him work all the time.
And that is why Anthony Crawler's got the makings of a very, very good coach indeed. Just all the right instructions, telling him to stay loose and relax, step across Hardy rather than following him around. Just touch him with that jab and keep the chin down as well. All the basics that he's going to be working on and polishing over the next couple of years.
Yeah, sound advice from his brother in the corner. Calm, relaxed, precise with his instructions.
What a better man to have in the corner.
So I remember when he was up with Alex Dilmagani sparring Carl Frampton in his preparations for Jamel Herring. We had a mic on him, could listen in to the sort of quiet, calm instructions in the corner. But they were very good instructions, and as you say, you want good advice, but you want a calm environment as well. Somebody that you trust, and in his brother, he has all of those things. Just stepping across Hardy as he's been asked to, using that feint just to try and draw a lead. Nice right hand over the left hook there. Again, just a reaction from Hardy.
Yeah, he wasn't taking the bait, was he, to the feints? Happy just to move, circle the ring, stay out of danger. Opting to rest on the ropes, fight back with the odd counter.
Much better them touches.
Just adjusting the feet in between those combinations, Hardy, just a wry smile, but I think he's felt a few of these through the guard. He's beckoning him on again, a little bit of kidology.
Mixing the levels there well.
And it's really, really good pressure again from Crawler. Really making Hardy work.
The counter off the ropes there from Hardy again, though, as Crawler just dumps that, or that southpaw jab through the middle, switches to orthodox.
Good work with a lead hand jab, followed by the hook. Needs to put the right hand on the end of that. Again, the pressure, looking for the uppercut. Just missing with the shot.
Stiff jab just sends the mouthpiece flying. Steve Gray just calls a hold to proceedings. Joe Hardy just gone a little bit flat here, and just it catches her left hand around the side of the glove.
It was a nice right hand. Went in there, just slipped, feet tangled up there. Oh, I don't think that was a shot.
No. I think Steve Gray was so close to the action there. I don't think he saw what happened. The legs tangled. We'll see it in the action replay, but there's no way that was a knockdown, but it will be given as one. Well, what does that do to the scorecards here? There's some blood from the nose of Joe Hardy. And well, that just creates a sense of urgency in Will Crawler here. He protested immediately as he got to his feet. You could see from our ringside position exactly what happened with the feet. Hopefully we can try and get a shot of that at the end of the round. 20 seconds to go in the third.
A little smile from Hardy there as one just glanced his chin end.
Yeah, I mean, we say it quite often, don't we, on these comms? The only issue with the 4-rounders, you know, knocked down like that, can cause a little bit of issue when it comes to the scorecards, but look, he's bossing the action, Crawler.
Yeah, you could see Anthony speaking to Steve Gray there. He knew what happened as well, and I think they were just the instructions there will be just don't panic. You're in control of the fight, but well, just giving Joe Hardy a bit of a lifeline here, and he'll fancy that if he has a big fourth round. Let's have a look at what happened in that exchange. Watch the feet here. See that again. Kind of
I mean, there was
contact, wasn't there, with
a right hand, yeah, around the side of the guard. There was definitely contact. No doubt he was off balance, Crawler.
Of course he does. Yeah, he has to kill you, son. Yeah.
Interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, look, a shot does land, I guess, on the side of the gloves, whether you're off balance or not.
And the final round.
It'll be interesting to get your thoughts from that one at home if you're watching. As Will Crawler comes out for the fourth and final round, and he's been largely in control of Joe Hardy. Just fencing with the lead hands. He steps off to his left-hand side, and again, Crawler just trying to step across him. In and out with that nice jab to the body. Hardy just eats one upstairs.
Couple of good shots from Hardy to the body, and again.
Well, just looking a little too hard for that counter hook when Hardy does step into the body. Lands a left hand down the middle. That was better. Good timing from Hardy here, just jabbing as Crawler steps in.
He's just too eager to please, Crawler. Really loading up with the shots, biting down on the gum shield, and he's just a little predictable for the works. That was a good left hook around the right hand of Hardy, working the body well.
Created a little sense of urgency, that knockdown in the last round, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Busies that left hook around the side, that landed on the button there, and I think Hardy felt that, and he just tries to smother and spoil, but he's falling over the front foot here.
You find as he gets more experience as well, them feints help you keep you relaxed.
Nice straight left again, down the pipe from Crawler, landing the right hook as well on the side of the head of Hardy, who's backed into the neutral corner.
Left hand downstairs, Hardy starting to look like he's in danger of unravelling here.
Yeah, I think if Phil's got through there, Tony's shouting behind her.
Right hand over the top, Hardy just nods there in acknowledgement, but he is hurt here. Crawler starting to put the shots together.
Yeah, it's been good this last minute from Crawler. Really good pressure, good variation with the shots, working the body well. Pushing the uppercuts through, the lead hook. There's been a good shot, nice jab as well from Crawler.
You see Hardy working hard to hold his shape, keep the arms tight, and try and nullify the heavy fire that's coming at him now, as Crawler starting to try and put the shots together, trying to turn the screw, using the feet to feint into range. Left hand from Southport.
More blood coming from the nose now, Hardy.
Big round this for Crawler, sinks the shots into the body, right hand under the elbow. Hardy looks at Steve Gray for a moment there. 30 seconds to go in the fourth round, and the crowd are on their feet here. Right hand counter from Crawler.
Yeah, this is really good work, good pressure. He's selecting the shots really well, not wasting much, Crawler. Good stuff from the local man.
This corner just calling for a big finish. Sends the left hand down the middle. Joe Hardy's done really well to just weather this storm, and he just wills himself forwards with a combination. Right hand from Crawler again, and well, nice respect between the pair of them. Tough fight. And a questionable knockdown in round three. And where we were, you could just see that his legs slipped underneath him, but you're right, Darren, there was some contact. It was with the glove, the forearm. But Anthony Crawler, all smiles, just above us at the commentary position here.
I think he'd be happy with it, both William and Anthony. I think it was a good debut. He was very eager and at times loading up with the shots, but generally, he was eager to impress. That was a nice left hook with the lead hand there out of the orthodox stance. Very crafty and very good at switching, Crawler. Very subtle with it, with the movement. I mean, he did take a couple from Hardy, who was sort of rallied on by that knockdown, if you want to call it that. But the pressure on the front foot, constantly making Joe Hardy work all the time, always making a move. At times, Hardy, I think he felt some of the body shots. He opted to sort of rest on the ropes as opposed to move, but it was good pressure, good entertaining stuff. The crowd were never silenced. They were always rallying behind the local man, and he was always looking to try and close the show early. And yeah, I was impressed with that.
Well, Anthony Crolla was just chatting to Steve Gray about the knockdown in round number 3 there. We'll see what it does to the scorecard. Steve Gray has the fighters at centering. David Dumante is standing by with the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action here in Manchester, we go to referee Steve Gray's scorecard. It reached 39-37 for your winner, who is now undefeated, William Crolla.
Well, that's nice to see from Joe Hardy. Played his part in a really entertaining little 4-round scrap there to cap things off here on Before the Bell. And Anthony Crolla's younger brother William is up and running in winning form, 1-0 as a pro now. I think the plan is to get him out nice and active, try and get him 3 or 4 fights this year. Eddie Hearn watching by ringside as well. And there was a little bit of tension in his work, to be expected. The pressure of the family name. He knew this was his opportunity to showcase what he's got. Enough there for Eddie Hearn to think there's something we can work with.
I want to see that. You want to see that from a debutant. I'd rather have to contain that eagerness and that real will to win than try and find it, manufacture it from somewhere. So, look, like I say, there's a lot to work on, but a lot to work with if you're Anthony Crolla.
Yeah, it's great to see him fight with his heart on his sleeve. I'm sure Manchester's going to have some big nights and some exciting fights for him in the future.
Yeah, we are going to hear from him in a few moments' time. All smiles with the team there. Anthony Crolla at the Fox Gym. They've had a strange couple of years. 2 fires in the gym in the space of about 18 months, 2 years during the pandemic. But they're back up and running. It's a great facility, and he's building himself a promising young stable as a trainer now as well, including his younger brother. He's just taking his seat there with his brother Eddie Hearn standing by as well. Let's hear from them now with Jamie Ward.
William Crolla, congratulations. You only get 1 professional debut. If you can find the words, can you tell us what this means to you and how you're feeling right now in this special arena?
It means so much to me. I went walking today in the town centre to stretch my legs, and I got a bit teary-eyed, but I was on my own, so it didn't matter. I've been waiting for this day forever. Even when I was 15.5 stone working on a building site, I knew it had come. And massive thanks to Eddie and Matchroom and the team for allowing me to have it here. It's been amazing. I've loved every minute of it.
It wasn't without drama. Big moment in that 3rd round. It looked like you might have slipped. Just talk us through it from your perspective. What happened?
I think Steve's a referee, but I think he definitely got that one wrong. His bicep hit me as we both tangled up, and it was never a knockdown. I didn't feel the shot. I got back up, and you see the round was even. And if it's an even round of a knockdown, it says a lot about the round. And the lad said it wasn't a knockdown, but no point in crying over it. Now it's done. Go back to the gym and work on things, and I'll be ready for the next one.
We know you can switch it. We know you want to entertain. We certainly saw a bit of that tonight through 4 rounds. As a first showing, Will, can you be happy with your performance tonight?
Nah, I'm not happy about that 3rd round, but I'm happy with the experience. I fought a box well every other round, and I fought him a few times, but in experience, I was headhunting. I heard a lot of people shouting to the body, and I wasn't going for it. I was just headhunting, and something I said I wasn't going to do, so it's something for me to work on.
You've been a big part of all of Anthony's big and special nights here in this arena. For you, what was the message from Anthony tonight to you, Will, in terms of keeping your composure and keeping your cool?
He told me to enjoy it, and that's exactly what I've done. Like I say, it's been the best week of my life, and hopefully I'll have plenty more.
Let's grab a word with older brother and now trainer, Anthony Crolla. Anthony, you called this comeback number 75 for Will. You weren't sure if you'd ever see him in a professional boxing ring, but you have done now. He's 1-0 as a professional. How proud can you be of this young man's journey tonight?
Listen, I'm super proud of that, and a massive thank you to everyone who's come out to support him. The Mad Bunch over there, he's nice and loud. Thank you to Ed for giving him that opportunity. And yeah, listen, William had his troubles, been away for a few years, but he's back now, and I thought, despite that confusion in the 3rd round, I thought he boxed well, and there's plenty more to come from him, but I'm very proud, older brother, for sure.
Let's grab a word with promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, in terms of a first showing, can you be happy with that? And like I just said, so many special nights with Anthony. Why is this a narrative that makes you happy as well?
No, I think the best compliment I can give is if it wasn't Anthony Crolla's brother and he was someone that we'd signed as a prospect, I'd be happy with a performance and happy with a debut, you know, and I think that's important because you can't just be here because you're Ant's brother. You know, I thought he boxed really well. I liked the variation, worked the body well. There wasn't a knockdown. I've never seen Crolla so animated. He was fuming. Poor Steve Gray, I don't know where he is, but Ant was ready to have a tear up with Steve Gray, to be fair. And it's just a great story, great support. You know, Ant had some incredible support here, and that will help William, because any young fighter that doesn't have the amateur pedigree needs that support. needs to be able to shift tickets, needs to have that atmosphere when he boxes, and he's got a great set of fans that have followed Ant, and now they can follow Will as well. And you know, like I said, the best compliment I can pay is that was a performance that I would have been pleased with someone that was a distinguished amateur. And I think he's got a good boxing brain. He's been around boxing for a long time. You know that. He can punches harder than his brother, that's for sure, pound for pound. You know, and he copped a couple as well. He took a few, and you know, he learned a lot from that. It's a huge amount of pressure tonight. When your brother's out winning world championships in this arena, it's a very tough act to follow. But you know, I think there's a lot of future in this young man, and it's going to be enjoyable. We're going to have a lot of fun. I reckon by the end of it, Crawler will lose his barnet completely.
Will, final one from you. You made it no secret, just based on what Eddie just said there as well, that, you know, you're under no illusions that you might have got the opportunity on the big stage because of your surname. But moving forward, in terms of the legacy you want to create for yourself, what's the ambition?
Listen, if I entertain, then there's plenty more nights where I'll do that. I might take a few, but I also land a few, and that's what I'll bring every time I fight, and I can't wait for the next one.
A new fighter for Manchester to certainly get behind. William Crawler, welcome to the professional game. Congratulations, well done.
Can we take a second to realise how sick the DAZN app is? There's just so many sporting events on it. On June the 3rd, we have the UEFA Champions League Women's Final. They got the NFL Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. We got the PFL. We got the National Women's Soccer League. You got all Misfits events.
How do you like it?
Don't miss a thing.
Well, so many great fights coming your way. Later tonight, Alexis Rocha faces Anthony Young stateside, and next week, Claressa Shields takes on Maricela Cornejo, and Sonny Edwards makes his matchroom debut against Andres Campos at Wembley, June 10th. Then August 5th, it's pay-per-view time as the showdown between Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. But right here in Manchester, here is what we have got coming up on tonight's main card. We start with an English welterweight title between Danny Ball and Jamie Robinson. Akib Fiaz looks to move 12-0 when he faces Spaniard Costin Ion. And a week after her clash with Cecilia Brækhus was cancelled at the 11th hour, Terry Harper gets the opportunity to defend her WBA super welterweight title against Ivana Habazin. Jack Catterall makes his matchroom debut, challenging Dara Foley for the WBA Intercontinental super lightweight strap. And then the main event, if you needed any reminding, Leigh Wood's shot at redemption as he looks to reclaim the WBA World Featherweight title. He faces a man who was, until 24 hours ago, the champion, Mauricio Lara. And, well, Cyrus, a fascinating main event and extra drama added in the last 24 hours. Ben Davison had a very difficult decision to make in that 7th round in those last 10 seconds of their first fight. He's had a very difficult decision to make in the last 24 hours, hasn't he, too?
Yeah, he has. I think he's followed the right procedure, and they've checked his rehydration, you know. I mean, Leigh Wood's a very, very big at the weight, so I don't think it'll cause too many issues when he's checked the weight this morning. So body shots could pay dividends later on in the fight as well. I think we've been discussing earlier on. Just needs to be switched on, like Darren's mentioned, every second of every round. Can't switch up at all, can't afford it.
Does anything change for Leigh Wood given the outcome of the last 24 hours?
I don't think so. He's extremely experienced. He's seen it all before. I think he's just desperate to hear that first round. I've said this all week. He just wants to put this Lara saga to bed. He's been on his faults for over a year now. He's suffered that crushing defeat, but the blueprint was there from the defeat. He knows how to beat Lara. He's just got, as Cyrus says, as I've said, he's got to remain switched on from start to finish, and I hope he can get the job done.
Lots of action to come on DAZN this weekend. You can scan that QR code by Darren Barker's big head if you haven't subscribed already to sign up to the app for a big night of action kicking off here in Manchester in just under 10 minutes time with Laura Woods and the team in the studio. We'll be here at the commentary desk for the first couple of fights. We will see you the other side of 7 o'clock. Thanks for your company here on Before the Bell, folks.
A ride memory is the moment the file stopped. Just complete heartbreak.
And the towel comes in. Blue Wood's not happy with this. A sensational turnaround from Mauricio Lara.
You can't do anything different. Where's that cat?
I just want to get this done, and I want to prove a lot of people wrong. redemption, revenge, whatever you want to call it, to get the belt back. It's a must win.